I'm really excited. I'm really excited because this is the year that I'm finally going to make a name for myself as a comedian. I can feel it. Just out of curiosity, give me a cheer if you've seen my stand-up before. Two people. I mean, there are two good outcomes from that question. One is that you all cheer, which means that I know I'm on the way up. Or no one cheers, so that the joke works. This is good. It's fine. I think it's because my name is so difficult to pronounce. So it'd be good if we kind of broke it down now, syllable by syllable. That'd be really. Here we go. So Sris. Can. One more time. Sris. Can. Sriskantha. Thanks. So spread the word. I think the main barrier to my success is that I have a really forgettable face. It's true. Like I did a gig in Stamford, which I hadn't been to before, by the way. It's a beautiful place. It's one of those places that looks like it hasn't changed in 100 years. Like the roads are all still cobbled and the buildings are small and picturesque. And the people, oh man, the people are so white. Like miles around. Just like the good old days. So I did this gig with another comedian, let's call her Emily. So Emily and we drove up 2 hours from London, we had dinner, we did the show, and then we drove 2 hours back. So I thought we made good friends. We spent like 8 hours in each other's company, and for reference, that's 4.9 times the running time of High School Musical. And those guys were such good friends after just one running time of High School. But then I saw her again at a party a couple of months later, and I went up to say hi. And she introduced herself to me as if we'd never met. Emily actually put out her hand and said, "Hi, I'm Rachel Paris." And obviously I was awkward about it, so I didn't say anything. So I was like, "Hi, I'm Harry Sriskantha." And she said, "Oh, Harry Sriskantha." So, "Oh, yeah, that's me." She said, "Oh, it's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you." So, "Yeah, from me." So one day, I think, I don't know. It's moments like that make me feel like I waste too much time on comedy. That's not as bad as the time that I once spent two days trying to come up with a joke about David Cameron and pigs. And the best I could come up with was, what do you get if you cross David Cameron with a pig, David Cameron, which was not worth it. I try and console myself and say things like, the comedy is important for society. Laughter is the best medicine. But it's not true. I mean, laughter is not as good as actual medicine. Saying laughter is the best medicine is like saying optimism is the best birth control. It's not true. I mean, that's why you don't get doctors who say things like, I don't know how to say this. Knock knock. Who's there? Not you in 8 to 9 months. I think the other disadvantage of being a comedian is that, as you guys probably agree, is that it's hard to turn off that overthinking part of your brain. Like even so, I was literally last week. I got home to my flat and someone had posted on the door a sign that said "Found cat," and they said, "We found a cat in Sims Gardens. We've kept her well fed. We've taken her to the vet. Everything's okay. If this is your cat, please phone us and we'll return it to you and we'll ask for ID just to make sure it's yours." And I walked away from that and I was like, that is, restored my faith in humanity. What a nice thing to do. But then, within minutes, I was like, what is the boundary between finding a cat and just seeing a cat? If I was walking to work and I saw like a baby in a bayonet, I'd be like, I found a baby. But if I saw a cat, I'd just be like, carry on. So now I'm pretty sure I'm complicit in a cat napping. That's fine. I think the advantage though is that I have a platform. I can talk to you guys and I can try and change people's opinions. I think if I was in charge of the national curriculum, I would make it 80% what it is now, but 20% just how to function as a modern adult human being. You know, like so in English, you'd still learn about poetry and novels and all that kind of stuff, but you also learn how to sign a work birthday card when everyone else has already taken all of the good messages. There's a guy I used to work with, he always bought the card, and then first message wrote, "Hey, happy birthday, hope you had an awesome day, all the best for the year ahead, still looking good after all this time, best wishes." You can't take all of them! It's not cool. Or, you know, in maths, we'd still learn about statistics and graphs and all that kind of stuff. But we'd also learn how to deal with my local supermarket that sells bread rolls in packs of 6, ham in packs of 7, and cheese in packs of 8. I mean, once I make one, I have to commit to 167 subsequent salads. It all works out again. That's how in science, we still learn about thermodynamics and gravity and all that kind of stuff. But we learn about love and relationships, because it's such an important part of being an adult human being. But growing up, you learn nothing about it at all. Like, the only answer I ever heard to the question, "What is love?" was, "Baby, don't hurt me." It's like, what is that? I don't know. So, you have to kind of like fill in the gaps from pop culture. So my favourite film when I was growing up was the hit Disney classic Beauty and the Beast. Any fans? Woo! Yeah, that's enough to do this bit. It taught me a very important lesson. It's what's on the inside that counts. Love someone for who they are rather than what they look like, and they'll eventually magically not be ugly anymore. I mean, it's so messy. It's so messy. Like, I watched the remake recently. The only reason the prince gets turned into a beast is because he's shallow. He's shallow. The old beggar lady comes to the castle and offers a single rose in exchange for shelter from the bitter cold. But the prince sneers at the gift and turns the old lady away, singing, "You ain't got no alibi," or something. I can't remember the lyrics. And how does he learn his lesson? How does he learn to be less shallow? By falling in love with, literally by definition, the most beautiful girl in town. In the whole film, it's only Belle who learns something, really, which is that if you're bored with your romantic prospects, go brown. Good lesson. Which my partner can attest to. We got married last year. Thanks for writing with I have achieved something. But it was, it was fun. I don't know why I hesitated there. It was fun. I found the process quite interesting because I'm someone who naturally tends to question everything. So I don't like a lot of traditions. Like, I think it's because it helps that I'm part of two cultures. You know, like I was born and raised here, but my family's Sri Lankan, my partner's white. And I think nothing makes you realise traditions are silly faster than when you have to explain them to someone who's never heard of them before. Like, for example, sorry, I should have called you out. So in a lot of South Asian cultures, for example, it's considered really rude to give someone something with your left hand. And I didn't realise how much this has been ingrained into me until some relatives came to visit, and then my wife offered them some tea with her left hand. And then I had to like pull her aside afterwards, and it's like, you can't do that. And she said, "Oh, why?" And I was like, "Good point." So I kind of asked my parents why, and they didn't know, and I asked my grandson. And does anyone actually know why it's rude to give someone something with your left hand?
Yeah.
What's it?
I'm afraid I know, but in some cultures, when you go to the toilets, you actually wipe your...
Exactly. That's the reason. We have soap now. It's not an issue. Anyway, if you're giving me something with your left hand, because there's a chance your right hand might have poop on it, you know what? You keep it. And then they get badly. But it's really the other way around as well. Like, I remember when I was younger, and I had to explain the tooth fairy to my mum. And I was like, so I'm going to take my tooth and put it under my pillow, and then you have to creep into my room in the middle of the night, take the tooth, and replace it with some coins, ideally in a delicate and fairy-like manner. And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know, capitalism." It's true with like engagement rings as well. Like, so obviously I had to go get one, and I knew nothing about that, so I had to do some research. So if anyone's thinking of proposing soon, here are my top tips. One, it's absolutely essential, and I really didn't know this before I started, but it's absolutely essential to know how to walk backwards. As in, oh, that one's really nice. How much does that cost? Two, I learned that the staff at Tiffany's hate it if you go up to them and say, "One breakfast, please." And they don't like that. I actually said that to one sales assistant, and she said, "Yeah, we don't serve food here." And I said, "But what about breakfast at Tiffany's?" And she said, "I think I remember the film." And I said, "As I recall, we both kind of liked it." And she said, "Yeah." No one cares about your 90s hit classic references. But we had the same thing with wedding rings as well. We had to go back to the same street, Happy Garden, just around the corner from where we work, which is only relevant to you guys. But thank you for working. And I forgot about the ridiculous bartering system. You know, so we found some wedding rings that we liked, and we sat down and we said, "How much are these?" And the guy said, "Just one sec." And he picked up a calculator from his desk, moved to the back where we could still totally see him, just typed some numbers, came back and said that'll be £1,400. And then me and my partner looked at each other and were like, that's slightly out of our budget. And then without skipping a beat, he picked up the calculator again, walked to the back where we could still totally see him, just typed some numbers, came back and said, "Well, okay, we can give them to you for 800. And after that, I was like, "Well, we don't want the rings anymore, but I am interested in your magic calculator." Yes, that's the story of how my wife doesn't have a wedding ring. Just gonna casually check how I'm doing for time. Okay, I've got a couple minutes. So, what can I do? Like I said, I have a platform for stand-up, and I like to change people's minds. And one of the tools that I have is satire. So, I've always wondered how effective it is, and I'm not sure that it is that effective. Like when I started out as a comedian, it was like during the 2009 European parliamentary elections, and for some reason I read the manifesto of the British National Party, and obviously they were totally against the European Union. They were just way ahead of their time. But one of the reasons was to stop 80 million low-wage Muslim Turks from flooding the UK if Turkey joined the EU. So I looked up, the population of Turkey at the time was only 72 million. We're assuming that all of Turkey would want to move here, but then they would somehow pick up 8 million people. And it's like, that's why I'm always torn by the idea of free speech, because I know on the one hand, it's a pillar of a modern and progressive society. On the other hand, some people are dicks. So see, I mean, that's an okay bit. It's an okay bit. It made no difference. It made no difference. It's not like anyone from the British National Party ever came to any of my shows. Even if they did, it's not like they were like, "Oh man, that guy's right, brown people are okay." All I was missing was the maths. But I was thinking back on it, you go back through history and you have all these great satirical works, like Animal Farm by George Orwell, which is supposed to be this great literary achievement. But all he did was tell the story of the Russian Revolution, but he used animals as characters. That's not an accomplishment, that's anyone. So to prove my point, I've written a version of Animal Farm, but for Brexit. Okay. So, so I just said someone else like, "Oh no, this is happening." Okay. Once upon a time, there was a horse called Roger, and Roger was proud of his farm, but he was disappointed that he was part of the farmers' union, because it meant that he wasn't free to set any of his own rules, and there was no limit on the number of animals that could come in from other farms. So he decided he was going to do something about it. Meanwhile, there was a pig called Snowflake. And one day, Snowflake woke up and was like, "Oh, what are you doing, David Cameron?"